Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Alison.
And we have a combined 55 years of experience working with children, families, and experts in early education.
We are not random influencers.
No, we are not. Whether you are new or have been our podcast peeps since 2018, we are thrilled you found us. Happy Monday, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Welcome back to the podcast. We have kind of a serious topic today, but before we get to that, Allison wants to acknowledge some people and places who are part of our preschool peeps listening to us, and we're so happy to have you, so go ahead.
Yay. We are shouting out Chile today, so hi to everyone there and to everybody in Worcester, Massachusetts.
And the people in Worcester right now are very impressed that we pronounced it correctly because we're not from Massachusetts, but I've been to Worcester.
I've been to Worcester.
Right? So we know the deal.
We know.
Mm-hmm. And we're very proud to pronounce it correctly for the people in Worcester who are listening or watching. Either watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
So welcome. And we're glad to have you. And we hope, as we always say on this podcast, tell your friends and neighbors to come on and listen to us. And if you have never gone to YouTube and seen us, I have a request. Please go to YouTube, look up How Preschool Teachers Do It podcast, subscribe, start an episode, watch an episode maybe, and like it. And that helps our algorithms a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that, everybody who's done it already. But today, like I said, kind of a serious topic. We're here. I'm choking on it.
That's how serious it is.
I'm choking. Oh my gosh. We're here to talk about the words guilt and shame. I was watching a TV show recently. Allison reminded me I got it from a TV show. I forgot even. But I was watching a TV show recently and one of the characters was talking about the difference between guilt and shame. And I thought that the definitions were very interesting and that they speak to our work and raising of young children and a theory that even we have related to that.
Yeah.
But as soon as they said it, I paused my TV and sent it to Allison and said, this has to be on the list. So here's the quote from a TV show, not a current TV show, but at any rate, great quote. They said, I don't know, we're a mess today. They said,
talking about?
Here's the difference. Guilt is the feeling of doing something wrong. Shame is the feeling of being something wrong. And when I heard that, I thought, we talk often about ensuring that children know that we value their thoughts, their wishes, their feelings, and that if they make a mistake, we just help them learn another way and we don't make them feel guilty. And I've also said when I teach that we're not going to shame children. I'm not sure, or families for that matter, but I'm not sure if I really thought about that distinction between guilt being a feeling of doing something wrong and shame being a feeling of being something wrong. Perhaps we can all think of times in our lives where we felt like, okay, I've done something wrong, but other times where we felt like there's something wrong with me.
Right. I think the difference for me in that quote is guilt. Because if it's from doing something wrong, that's something that's maybe more temporary. That feeling guilty is more,
I think it's
temporary maybe. Whereas shame is something like permanent and built inside of you that you can carry. I mean, I don't know.
I think you're right.
Guilt for a long time too, but there's something different about it.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think guilt might be more temporary. I think guilt is also easier to
resolve.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Where shame is more,
because it's more personal. It's more
and it's in you. And if that's who you are as a being, and you're feeling shameful for who you are,
that's deep.
And you can't change who you are necessarily. So that's deep. That's deep in there. Whereas guilt is okay, I can change what I am doing, or I could maybe ask forgiveness for that mistake or learn from that mistake, and then the guilt will maybe chip away.
Yeah.
But shame, maybe you can't chip away at it because it's who you are as a being.
Well, a mistake, if you're saying, well, I did something wrong, I think you can less emotionally think about Why was that wrong? How did that go wrong?
Right.
What was my thinking?
Right.
Okay, next time I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
Where shame, it's so personal. It's about who I am as a human being. And I think that we don't always think about that. I think sometimes our actions with children don't always communicate.
Yes.
I think often they don't communicate what we want to communicate. But I also think we don't take this into consideration. And it reminds me, I said something about theory when I was introducing the topic. It reminds me of the theory from Erik Erikson called the psychosocial stages of development. And very basically, Erik Erikson studied psychological and social development, and he outlined for a whole lifetime, not even just for early childhood, for a whole lifetime, what are the two polar opposites that we struggle with in our psychological and social well-being. And if it resolves more positively, then you get to move on to the next stage and you develop a part of your personality.
Yes.
That's basically Erikson's theory. So for example, if we're talking about children ages birth to 1, they struggle with trust versus mistrust. If they experience more trust, said Erik Erikson, then mistrust, and they will all experience both, by the way, because they're humans and we're human. So if they experience more trust instead of mistrust, they develop hope. And it's basically hope that they'll survive this world, right? The next stage is ages, I believe it's 1 to 3 in Erikson's theory, and it's called autonomy versus shame and doubt. And isn't it interesting that it's not called autonomy, which means independence, autonomy versus guilt and doubt? It's not called that. It's not that. It's shame and doubt. Yeah. And I thought that's significant because if shame is, I think there's something wrong with me as a person, then what is the message we're sending to children when we don't value their independence? When we don't teach them how valuable their independence is, when we take those children who are able to walk and carry them all the time, they learn not necessarily, well, I don't walk well enough. They learn, I am not good enough.
I'm not enough.
I'm not enough is the message, right? And even in Erikson's work, I think he says the primary question for that age group is, am I enough?
Am I enough?
So he understood the difference between guilt and shame because he didn't call it guilt.
He didn't.
He called it shame.
I find it interesting that he paired together shame with doubt. Like, it's not just like autonomy versus shame or autonomy versus doubt. It's shame and doubt.
Because if you're feeling shame, this is how I'm seeing it. Because if you're feeling shame and you feel like, again, the definition is the feeling of being something wrong.
Right.
If you think you are something wrong, then you are going to doubt yourself and your abilities.
And your abilities. But I also think you're going to doubt others because they never believed in you.
Well, the part of the personality that Erikson says is developed if you experience more pride in your independence and autonomy is will, which is the will to try and do new things, really.
Right.
The will to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Try and do new things, right? So we have to be super careful about children who are expressing their independence in ways that adults may find less than palatable. Right?
Right.
Children express, young children especially, express their independence by doing things like looking at us and saying no, sitting down when we tell them to stand, standing when we tell them to sit.
Yeah.
They express their independence by wanting to explore the environment on their own. So we have to have them in those safe environments where they can explore on their own. They show their independence by things, even like I said, as simple as I am capable of walking right now, so I want to walk. And if you scoop me up and carry me everywhere, what I learn is I'm not good enough.
Yeah, that I'm not capable.
I'm not a capable person.
You don't believe I am capable of doing it, so why would I believe that I can do it?
Yeah. You know, I think about even something as simple as putting on a coat. Children struggle with putting their coats on. And they often can manage it eventually, but it takes adult patience and time. Right. So if we don't often enough give them that time and that patience, what am I teaching them? I'm teaching them shame, said Erikson. I'm teaching them the feeling of being something wrong. It is such a serious thing. You know, and maybe in some ways, every human being can relate to moments in their lives where they felt like something wrong.
Well, yeah.
Right? I feel like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like in something wrong about me.
About me.
Right?
Yes.
When really the message we want children to get is you are wonderful.
Are enough just as you are.
Yes, you are enough the way you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a saying in the, I know some of you have heard me mention this before, the lifestyle kind of weight management program that I'm a part of, that they say all the time, and I really love it. They talk about how there's no such thing as perfection, and they say all the time, you are perfect with your imperfections. That's perfection.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the sort of perfection we picture.
Right. That doesn't exist.
You are perfect with your imperfections.
Yeah.
And I think children need to get that message. They need to know you are perfect with your imperfections. We love you the way you are. Our love is unconditional.
Yeah.
Our value of you is unconditional. Our respect for you is unconditional. So often when children are exhibiting behaviors that challenge adults, or, they're being children. They're just being children. Yeah. It's the adults who need to think about their behavior, not so much the children. Right. And we need to have the capacity to take a deep breath, to realize every single interaction that I have with a child gives them a message about themselves. It isn't only, I'm trying to get you to behave this way, or I'm trying to get you to do this thing, or I need you to do X, Y, Z. Every single interaction I have with you impacts how you view yourself.
Yes.
And I mean every single interaction.
Every single one.
When we acknowledge their efforts and the good that they do, it teaches them something about who they are. It's the feeling of being good and right and valued, right?
Yes.
When I have to talk to them about their behavior, it teaches them something about who they are. When I do it kindly and with respect, it teaches them something about who they are, because they're worthy of respect and kindness, regardless of the fact that they made a mistake.
Right.
I was recently talking to someone we were talking about outdated ways to speak with children. And I was saying, that sends terrible messages to the children. Yeah. And I was talking about that. And we really, as a society, need to recognize what are the outdated ways to speak with children. Yeah. And recognize in ourselves the thoughts in our heads that we carry, the messages that we carry, and the times that we doubt ourselves. There are things that we doubt, and times that we doubt ourselves, and things we doubt about ourselves that stem back to our early childhoods. They just do. It's the messages we got because of people making us, unintentionally perhaps. There was no intention. True. But they didn't know better. And so the things that were done and said with some people made them feel like they are something wrong.
Well, because the things that other people have said when we were children, we've discussed this on here before, it becomes your inner dialogue.
Yes.
And when you're a child and you don't have any other adults in your life, and the only adults that are telling you are these negative things that make you doubt, then you start to think like, that must be true because there's my trusted adult and that's what they think. And then it stays with you forever.
Yes.
I feel it's very hard to get over. And I know that from experience. It takes a lot of work to get that inner dialogue to flip. So because the early childhood years, those are the things that stick with you for very, very long. Because you're growing and you're developing and you're growing with that.
Right. I want you to think about, folks, if you're raising children, just look at them and think, do I want you to ever feel like you are something wrong?
Right.
And if you are teaching young children, I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath. I know it's busy in that space, but take a deep breath, look at these children and think, is the message about you that you get from me in the time that we know each other, what is the message? Do I want that message to be, you are something wrong? And I never want it to be that. No matter how much their behavior challenges me, I want them to leave my space with better messages than that about who they are and how they're going to walk through this world, because it takes years and years of therapy to unravel that.
Decades, trust me, no.
of therapy to unravel that nonsense.
Yes.
So I hope that you'll think about the difference, and guilt isn't great either, by the way. Guilt isn't great. We don't need to guilt people. We don't need to be passive aggressive and guilt people.
And I think that often that children, through things that we say, some things when they make a mistake, are made to feel guilty about their mistakes. And they're children. They're going to make mistakes. We're adults and we make mistakes. Like, there's no need to be making them feel
But even like
guilty.
if you help someone or you offer help to someone and then you bring it up and throw it in their face,
Right.
that's guilt.
That's guilt.
Right?
Yes.
It's something that I learned. I had a fractured ankle, and it's really something that I learned because I don't like to ask for help because I'm always concerned that it's going to somehow come back to me in a negative way. And it's just part of me.
Also,
but
doesn't that kind of come with like I'm not
worthy of the help.
worthy
it
enough
does. It does.
to ask for the help. I just need to do this myself because you know what I mean. So it does kind of go back to this topic.
But I learned a great lesson about that's not always true. That it doesn't always come back at you. That people do things for good reasons. And
right, and the people that love you love you.
So let's not let these children be my age when they learn that.
Yeah.
Right. Let's let them be younger and walk through their whole lives knowing you are not something wrong. And if you do something wrong, you can just think about that and correct. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, and we'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay, preschool peeps. So let's see. What do we want to say before we let the people go? Let's let my people go. You hear that? Oh my gosh.
Are you
what
going to
just
start
happened
singing?
there?
You're going to start singing.
No, I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. I won't torture.
Okay.
Only 4-year-olds think I have a good singing voice. So Allison's
Who told you that made you feel like you weren't good enough at singing? See? Ties into the topic.
Probably multiple
Everyone?
people. Yeah. So Allison is going to move her head.
Oh, wait. Wrong way.
So that on YouTube you can see the QR code that takes you to our Facebook page for this podcast, the website for this podcast, and other many things. Several many things, as my son Michael would say.
All the good stuff.
Several many things. And we will catch you next time on the podcast, Preschool Peeps.
Bye, peeps.